Welcome everybody to the Aura Fury Classic. It's an exhibition match with members from the Gator Gaming Club from Brazosport College, as well as members from Aura Fury that you're used to seeing on our Aura Fury teams. We're going to be splitting everyone into two teams. We have Team Sheia and Team Gato. Sheia, of course, is a member of the Brazosport Gator Gaming Club, and she will be captaining one team. And then we have Gato, who is also from the Gator Gaming Club, but both of these members have actually played on the Aura Fury team as well as Brazosport College. What we've done is try to make two really good even teams, splitting up people by skill levels to see a real fun match tonight. But before we get into the match, we have an amazing clip from Wolfinkat that was actually from the Overwatch Championship Series stream that we did just a few weeks ago. So have a look at this. That was one incredible boss spawn, wasn't it? We had a quad kill in there, and it was so quick. It was just boom. It's one of those plays of games that you actually kind of have to watch a couple of times to see it happen. Very well done, Wolfinkat. So next up, we've actually got some interviews with some of the players that are going to be in tonight's match. We had the opportunity to actually talk in person, so very, very cool. Hope you enjoy. So does your team have any strategies set up to take on today's opponent?
Yes, although we're pretty intimidated by the other team. We kind of feel like we're a little bit of the underdog team. We're going to definitely be doing our best to communicate as much as possible. I've already advised my team I want them constantly talking. I want them using their ults. We're not hesitating. And we know our opponents, so we can use that to our advantage as well to maybe kind of predict what they might have planned.
Yeah, so we've looked at what our opponents are because we played with some of them previously, and we've planned some of our strategies around what our opponents might play in order to hopefully counter some of their main characters.
So we knew that they had a very limited tank pool, and so we decided to play around that and what they were going to play. Obviously, it was map dependent, but you know, we knew they had a small tank pool, and that would limit what they could do.
We're mostly a brawl/poke team. Anything besides that is kind of unconventional for us. We're not really a dive team. We don't have anyone who can really play dive heroes like that. We have someone who's fine on Winston, but besides that, we are a brawl or poke team.
Are there any heroes that your team is planning to use specifically for this match?
All of us have certain characters we do better, and we've tried to synergize those heroes together in certain predetermined team compositions that we can then edit as we go that will not only play upon our strengths, but also hopefully play on our opponent's weaknesses and be able to counter some of their strengths.
Not anyone specific, but we do plan around what our play style we want to do. So like it's map dependent, and you know, if we want to be a very mobile comp, we'll play heroes with more mobility movement and stuff like that. Or if we want to, stay alive a lot more and just fight head on, we'll have characters that are a little bit more tankier and have more sustainability.
We plan on playing a lot of JuCoHi and Sigma on tank. DPS is a little more varied. We're playing Sojourn, Tracer, some Widowmaker in there. And besides that, there isn't really any other picks for DPS. As far as support, we're keeping the same backline, Ana, Kiriko, mostly. If we're doing Brawl, we're doing Lucio Bap, or we're doing Lucio Kiriko.
My team is definitely built of mostly people who have one hero in particular that's their strongest, so I'm going to be putting that to my advantage as much as possible. So that includes heroes like Orisa, Genji, and Tracer.
So what do you think your team's strengths and weaknesses are compared to your opponent?
I think we'll have more synergy. Yeah, I think that's the big thing. I couldn't find any obvious weaknesses, but maybe my limited tank pool as well, because there's only a certain number of comps we can run as well.
I feel like we talk a lot more than the opponent team. We have a lot more synergy. We've played a lot more together. And as far as weaknesses, there's not really anything that can come off the top of my head, except maybe our inability to counter swap in certain cases. We just don't know maybe the correct answers to some comps that we haven't faced before, that we might be facing now.
Kind of related to the first answer I gave, since this is an in-house kind of tournament, we know who we're going against. So being able to be prepared for anything they might throw at us is definitely a great strength that we have. I would say probably our greatest. And one of our weaknesses is probably just our hero pool being a little bit smaller than the opposing team in terms of there's not as many heroes we can maybe play as stronger as others in comparison to the other team.
So I know one of our, that could go either way, strength or weakness for both teams is communications. Both teams have members who are very active in the voice channels during matches, some members who are not as active. We're trying to encourage all our team members to be as active and communicate and coordinate as much as possible. I think we do have an advantage in that aspect. We also have some really good DPS players who some very versatile hero catalogs as well.
That kind of leads into the next question. How important is it to be able to adjust in match?
It's very important, actually. Just because some heroes understandably counter some heroes better than others. And if you're being fully countered, you can't get any value, then maybe it's time to swap because there's not going to be any change there and you're not getting value unless something changes or someone on the enemy team changes. Mm-hmm. It's up to you.
Absolutely. I think that's a huge part of Overwatch, whether people think that's more annoying than great, because we don't know exactly what kind of team compositions the opposing team might be throwing at us. So while we have a main plan, we also have backup plans for certain scenarios for sure.
Throughout the entire game, we're almost constantly making adjustments, changing one hero here, one hero there, countering or counter-picking whatever our opponents have, switching to hopefully protect our team from an enemy opponent who is causing particularly large amounts of issues for us. And on occasion, we'll just completely change the entire team composition when the need arises. The game is around being able to adapt and adjust to the situations that come your way, and that's a vital part of being able to play.
Very often. It's all about who can outplay who. These adjustments help you win fights more and more, and it allows you to adjust to what the enemy team's gonna do and ultimately counterplay them.
And how important is teamwork to the match?
I feel as if in terms of Overwatch, I can't stress it enough how important teamwork is for Overwatch. It's pretty much the name of the game. If there isn't teamwork and collaboration happening in a collaborative way in Overwatch, it doesn't work. You're not going to see us winning team fights. You're not going to see us getting the victory. Teamwork is absolutely the priority whenever it comes to Overwatch.
So teamwork is probably one of the most important aspects of Overwatch. Without it, yes, you can have good game mechanics skills personally and you'll do well on your own, but even a subpar team who communicates and works well together will beat really good level players who don't communicate. Communication allows you to help target and focus your efforts and give you the upper advantage in any fights.
Teamwork decides the match. I mean, plain and simple. The team that works together the best wins the match most often.
I'd say you wouldn't get anywhere without teamwork in that game. You're not going anywhere solo. You're not gonna get any team kills that way. You're not gonna get any significant picks that way. Maybe if you're meant to be a flanker, sure, go do something by yourself. But that still is being communicated to us that you are doing that thing. That is still teamwork in a sense. So teamwork is very important, yes.
So just before we get into the match, got a little bit of news. Aura Fury will actually be attending DreamHack in Dallas coming up on May 31st through June 1st. We'll be there all 3 days. So make sure you come by and stop by the booth. We'll also be part of the panels. And then, of course, in July, we'll also be part of the Galveston Esports Summit. And we will also be joined there by Brazosport College. So both of us will actually have a booth. So be for sure to come by and stop by and see both of us there. And we'll be part of multiple panels just like last year. So stay tuned to see those. You'll be able to see them coming up on the websites very soon. So tonight we have a couple of casters with us that are incredible. They're a lot of fun to listen to, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy listening to as well. We have JuCoHi or Justin, and we also have Iksander or Alex. I hope you enjoy today's match.
Pressure on the Sigma to hit all of their abilities to really stall time and keep them from dying to the dive, and it's a tall ask, especially when there's those kind of tight, narrow entryways,
Right.
Especially on that second map. It's a tall order. It's not something that I would be excited to do.
I mean, you can force the engagements into spots that make more sense for your team, but only if you're like you have a Widow like initially creating that pressure, so that they can't play in the spots where your team doesn't want to play. And if that first part doesn't happen, then I find it difficult to be able to get value with the Sig with a dive comp like that.
We'll see if they do any better locking down the map on Rialto, which is historically a very a long-range favored map. I would love to see a Widow duel just for my own interest. We'll see how comfy either team is. I saw Greninja briefly on the Widow swap off pretty quickly. I'd love to see one or the other team really commit to it, to see how the rest of the team plays around it.
Yeah, I think if you take the Genji on this map, I think Genji does a really good job maintaining high ground pressure. I think if you wanted to play a different flex DPS, maybe you go Pharah with a Mercy Pocket for the first point. I think after that it gets a little trickier. The idea of double sniper also rings in my brain.
Yeah, well, seeing two Sigmas. Classic poke. Well, and we'll see how well Sheia's team does pressuring out Diana, who did honestly a lot of heavy lifting on the other two maps. Where they just weren't able to close the distance in time, where they just got to Reason got away with a lot there, and the antis were doing a ton in the middle of those team fights. There's not enough Suzus to go around to cleanse.
We are going to see Reason go back to their primary role of DPS for this one now that they've swapped in Wolfinkat, who is more of a flex support anyway. So they're going to run the double flex dive, which I like a lot. I think that comp on this map denies a lot of the high ground pressure that a Sig comp is going to try to apply on this first hold. It just has to be timed right, because if you get the timing wrong, the damage output of this poke team is going to pick you apart. Hanzo might get a lucky pick onto the Tracer, which would jam up any kind of engage. Hanzo applies a ton of pressure to the Monkey as well with Stormbow. So it's all going to come down to timing. But having the Kiri to kind of clean up any mistakes that might happen is really helpful as well. And then, of course, an anti under the back line is a great engagement tool. You see them doing the slow push here, which makes a lot of sense. Use cover, get free push on cart. Sig's going to try to contest potentially as the cart gets close to the edge.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Hanzo still one-shots Tracer.
Can't ever forget that. But they still get this free cart progress because the Sigma's not using the advantage of the
Bowser
points of the high
getting
ground.
caught way out. Way. Rock comes in on Wolfcat though.
Yeah, I think both supports got greedy there.
Got a
But the spawn of Gato's team is going to come in way better. So it's really going to be a time to reset.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, War of Attrition slowly whittling down. See if they can focus on the Kiriko. Nice dive in.
Soja's
now. Soja's quick to pull.
I really dislike that last. I think at that point you just reset when you lose the Lucio and try to play for this bridge hold, because now really only Sig's gonna be able to touch in time, and it looks like they're not even
the
going for
exact
it.
same thing we were saying from last map, where the Sigma's just like playing that far forward and trying to hold that space when you don't have the map control at the time. It's just impossible. You're much better off resetting with your team. Oh, there you go. A lot of free push here.
Yeah, this is a good nano engage. Provides a lot of space.
I like the preemptive ult. It commands a lot of respect, and unfortunately Sheia doesn't have any ult. They just got beat online to respond. But too little too late.
Yeah, and now they get to hold the staircase rather than try to fight from the low ground, which is very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It completely flips the dynamic of where it's hard to hold, depending on which side of the archway you're on.
Yeah, it doesn't allow Sigma to get into a position where he's really going to be able to defend anybody too, unless they play this choke, but having a poke team only play from one angle, that's really good.
Force on one very obvious high ground.
Yep.
Dragon's on cart. Picks up an Ana, but Lucio did a pretty good job stalling here. Bowser to Neko.
Yeah, I think they're looking for the Sojourn to ult, but I don't think it's going to come through.
Phoenix able to pick off Durgeon, but at the cost of both Phoenix and Bowser to Neko falling quickly after. Let's see, yeah, there's no way there's a contest there. And on the .3 with 5 minutes in the time bank.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. I think this is the part of the map where dive looks the weakest. So if you're gonna mount a comeback, it's now. But it looks like they're just gonna wait out Sojourn engage.
Yeah, no need to engage Rail, and they actually are able to
lose the
trade in their
Sojourn.
favor.
Wow. Okay, here comes the Sig ult onto one. Suzu comes in clutch. Still should be able to kill the Surge.
Good.
And that's the advantage of having a
This
Genji.
team is unfortunately low, though. If you're looking at the health totals, they don't have the advantage in this fight.
No, they lost that Kiriko, and so now health totals are pretty finite.
Yeah,
but I do like the adaptation onto the Genji to match the Sojourn. I think the Hanzo was great for first to apply that pressure onto the Tracer like we talked about, but I think the Genji now is going to be in that position that Sig can't really help with, where Sig does damage to something but can't follow up on it if they go around a corner. Now Genji can do it. I think the D.Va's also not a bad swap.
Yeah, no, I think that's much better, and hopefully they'll have an easier time engaging and confirming those kills, but again, we see Gato, wow. Oh, there was a huge beat from Bowser to Neko that turned that fight.
That extra health really coming in clutch, and I think that gave everybody that boost of confidence they need to do the damage under the backline.
Yeah.
I don't think they need beat for it though every time. I think if they go in with that same level of confidence, they will find the target. I think right now it's just indecision and a lack of willingness to want to be the person to engage for their team is causing them to get stifled in their decision making. And I think once that starts to happen,
that's
great early anti.
Oh no!
If you can kill the monkey with this, Genji holds blade.
Grand just gotta do something. Okay.
20 health blade.
Hate to see it. I really wanted to see that blade pop earlier to apply some pressure. Before Team Gato got those ults online, they had a brief ult advantage, but it just waited a little bit too long.
They whittled 2 minutes off with some pretty decent defenses, but I think just the pressure there, and like I said, the indecision. I think when you see the Winston that low as the Genji, you just pop blade when you're at that health and kill him.
Gotta go
and then that allows you to freely dive onto the back line, clean that fight up, and maybe not win out the map because you're going to get ulted back on in the next fight, but at least gives you a chance to have a next fight, unlike what ended up happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of unfortunately small windows afforded by the ult economies, where teams will be close to ults and having the ult advantage, but not quite there. And the other team might only have one ult, but it's still an ult. And they're just not getting used because they're trying to wait for something else. And then unfortunately the other team just has the advantage at that point and gets a beat or gets a primal or a Kiri ult, and it just completely flips the other team into having to ult defensively, which is the last thing you want to have to do, especially on a map like Rialto, where we just saw how snowbally it can be.
Yeah, and ideally, if you keep that ult economy, even, where it's like one team has 3, the other team has 3. As the defending team, you should have to ult less and just use geometry, especially in those end of point situations where the walk from spawn for the attackers is super long. I think what's ended up happening on the first 2 fights, or first 2 points rather, is that they were trying to play early, and then they get killed, and then when they go to recontest, they see that there's not really any room to mount a defense, and they just end up either letting like they did on first, or taking improper positioning like they did on second. Instead, maybe opting to let them have more space on cart, and then translate that into a better mounted later defense onto the point, allowing you to have spawn advantage is probably the adaptation you need to make, especially when they're playing poke. I think if you're playing dive, it's fine because you can mount 2 offensives because of your mobility, but they weren't. So
Yeah. Interesting. So we've got a Reaper adaptation, I'm assuming, for the monkey. Let's see how that goes. A very interesting comp coming out from Team Sheia. We've got a lot of very long-range elements, and then a Reaper.
yeah, it really does seem that Reaper is just for monkey. And again, Hanzo on a tracer.
Yep.
It's a body shot into Stormbow, and that's enough. You really have to play that
Kind of
duel.
getting pressured on their angle. I'm glad somebody turned. We're gonna be pressuring. Monkey pushed up to try and
I think Monkey gets there, yeah.
That's a nice purple orb, held by Reaper and Storm Arrow.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, the target focus onto the monkey with those 3 pieces is going to be difficult for a dive, especially that late. Earlier, maybe, but not when the Reaper and the Hanzo have time to actually dedicate
Reason
to.
stalling cart for a second, but Tracer doesn't touch.
No. And uses all 3 blinks and then recalls. Difficult decision there, but we'll maybe see them live. Yep.
Wow.
We see the Sig swap.
Okay, back to Sig duel.
And in this situation, I don't like the Sig swap with the team that's behind Gato's Sig in ACS. I think Satu has a better team for this Sig. But Reason proving that it doesn't matter. Railgun does still get kills. That's 2. And a really good position on high ground. They end up giving it up, but I think it's just to confirm the skill on the map.
Yep. Oh?
That is... It has to be a swap. Has to be a swap. Maybe on a D.Va. Because that is 4 people who are spread out. I don't know. No.
The entire... No, because the rest of the team really still screams Sigma.
Yeah.
I mean, D.Va poke is something, but...
I mean, I don't think the DPS line warrants Sigma that D.Va can't do. I guess it is just the back line.
It's the BAP set that I'm afraid of. Okay, window pops out.
Good window. Immediately pressured out the tracer.
But exactly what we're talking about. Gato just backing up, using cover as the defensive team. They don't have to face the window if they don't want to.
Rush in.
Counter ults when it goes down. Okay.
Okay, good use of grants. That's exactly what you want to do against Rush. Because the Rush...
Oh, now we're having a fight. Good sleep, cancels the Reaper ult.
I think it's already gotten all the value. It's going to get huge pulse, though. Taking out both the backline. That's going to make this re-engage really
going crazy here. Oh my god.
Can they get the kill in the room against... Oh my goodness.
And now it's just a Sigma.
Wow.
Oh, is that a 5k?
That is, yeah, that is Sturgeon getting 5, assisted entirely by the Ana, who's in a flank position to land that anti.
Immaculate. That was beautiful.
That was a 2v5. That fight was lost. I had considered it lost.
Well, yeah, it's a fantastic job identifying that Trance is down. Either Suzu had just come out or they just weren't in a position to land the Suzu and end up getting 2 for it. And it's 100% worth it. Way to bring it back.
And I see the swap onto the Genji now too. They are, again, this DPS line is not synergizing with the Sig and instead trying to apply pressure to these backliners.
CS gets 2 in that Sigil, but Immor comes out just in time, and they are even for it? Okay, another nade from Gato turns it back around. These Anas have been really carrying these fights.
Yeah, I think in an unorganized scrap like that, especially just Reaper in a room type stuff, I think the Ana advantage is huge in that if you just aim at the floor, you don't have to really think too hard. You're going to get more value than the other supports. I think BAP has a tougher time. I think Zen especially has a tougher time. While Kiri and Ana do thrive in the scrap.
Yeah, it relies on your BAP having their 20-second cooldown, or a Sigma being able to eat that. And Reason early pick. Has a great angle here. No one can get up to contest him from here.
Yeah, it's the same idea as it was on map 1 with Diana. If there's no one to contest, then you can't expect them not to get a ton of value.
Get back to the window. And a pulse. Oh man.
Yeah, I got on the Zen too. The Zen is a lot of the pressure you want out of this team. Getting those discords and applying.
3. Okay. Finally gets a kill.
Yeah, getting the Tracer too. Huge!
And we're just ripping old C.
I don't know about the blade. A
little bit of.
And I also don't know about the. I guess the Bapple puts them in position so that the Reaper can get ult. But yeah, I think saving the blade might have been the call. But you know,
2 I can excuse. 3. They're pushing it a little bit, but they get the point. That's what matters.
it ended up being 4 because of the early Sig and Bapple. So yeah, it's a bit of an overinvest for sure. I think Team Gato is going to see that as a time to get a kill here. Yeah, they're just going to push. They know there's really nothing in the tank.
Yeah, I'm trying not to pay attention to the severe deficit of ults sometimes.
I mean, they're getting them all at the same time. They have 2 minutes to build 5.
They're just ripping. That was, and that's so fast. Immediately they call, okay, Nano Rail. Go.
Rail 1 charges up, immediately pops down in the head. There's no time to react.
But even when they're disengaging, I feel like they're not doing a full disengage, and still they feel like, okay, the ults can't see me, but they're not really avoiding the chip damage from the Sigma, who's cleaning up on these kills when they don't need to be happening.
They're getting a lot of ult charge. I don't mind the taking of chip damage from the Reaper, the Genji, and even the BAP and the Sig, if they're able to then corner and then build ult for the BAP to get fast rails, or not fast rails, fast windows, but that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing people die.
No. Yeah. The problem.
I also think Reaper on this last part this is the most troublesome part of the map for Reaper because your engagements are so linear.
Bowser Neko ults isn't able to save, and then Sanji comes out with
complete whiff on
second one.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
But both Sigma's ulting, keeping similar ult pace. This should be a victory for Blue. Oh really? No. Durgeon again, coming up clutch when the team needs him. There really is no one to check the Tracer. Like I guess you're relying on your Zen and Bap to be able to mitigate any oncoming pressure together, but it's not happening.
Yeah, and Reaper's good at checking Tracer if Reaper's with the team, but there really isn't Team Scammer to like push in, TP into the back line and try and force a turn, and that doesn't leave really anybody else able to
immediately killed with the window up. They're gonna still try to use it, but that just puts you in pulse bomb range.
Worth?
Arguably, yeah, especially with Nano still online. They only need to win this fight, and Nano Soj with Rail.
Sun goes low. We've got respawns coming in, but that Rail in the back line.
Lucio down, Sig down.
Just too many angles there. Ninja makes it back to point, pops blade, and and the Reaper, nope. Yeah. Team Gato winning again. I'll say I like the diligence that I'm seeing, especially when it comes to ult usage for Team Gato, where they're really only ever using 2 ults at a time, and picking up kills like this. Such a good job. Really good diligence on the aim there. Yeah.
I think Hanzo kills the Ana there if Hanzo's not distracted by an incoming Tracer, so I think the peel there also speaks to the synergy on that 2 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really liked the comps there. Alright, so we're gonna see
oh boy,
Arctic X come back in. This is a duo we haven't seen yet because I do believe Greninja was in map 1, if I do recall.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any swaps for Team Gato yet?
The first map we had Goop in,
right,
and then Wolfinkat came in.
Right.
So
right.
we might see another swap here, but I am currently unsure, as we are going to swap over to the new map.
Now,
Hanaoka.
this will be my first time seeing the map, so I'm excited. Excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, from my experience in this map, it's quick. It's a lot of, you need to understand where on the map you want to play, and then bunker that spot, and to kind of give up ticks on parts of the map that you don't find favorable. It's really build a comp around getting 5 ticks, and it doesn't really matter if they get a tick in a spot you find unfavorable and it swapping back to where your team is, because it's only pushing 1 forward at a time. So if you like the middle 3, right? Like the middle, the one closest to you, and then the one furthest from you, but still the middle 3, and you just keep farming those 3 and have no plan to go deeper into the enemy team's spawn, and then rely, if it goes into your spawn, to you to have spawn advantage to get back into the fight and contest those. I think that's really all you need. It's similar mindset to push, except the map is less dynamic.
I say it's similar to push it. It puts the onus on the team that's behind to have to engage, and it kind of, from what I'm seeing, from what it sounds like, forces a bunch of little mini 2CP engagements where the defending team, if they really want to, can just hold the point they like. They have the lead. They don't have to do much else, but the attacking team has to engage.
And we're seeing the classic Queen comp come out from Team Gato, which has a lot of pressure and a lot of speed.
A lot of speed. That's what I like.
And we're seeing more of what I'm talking about with this bunker sustain idea. So we're going to see a kind of a clash in ideologies on how to play Brawl, because both of these teams theoretically are Brawl.
It'll be really just to see if map knowledge plays a role, or if anyone discovered anything, because I wonder how many people played this map. It just come out today.
Effectively brand new. I would assume we're not going to see any tricks, but I'm going to be really excited if I do see them. I'm seeing right away the uncomfortability with the map. I saw Tracer blink into the same wall twice.
Yep. Well, there was a couple very close boot kills off that side. Very reminiscent of the old Hanamura ledge.
This is a hard comp to boop. If you're on the side of the red team, like trying to boop a Brig, Orisa, Moira, Mei, Tracer, very difficult characters to line that up on.
That's a good Mei wall. Suzu comes out.
Genji mitigating a lot of damage with that deflect.
Yep. Oh, Isa just picks up too.
I think this is evident more last year in the meta, but I still think it rings true that Genji is a really nice counter to Orisa, because Orisa's all about mitigating cooldowns and then that javelin, and I think Genji is that with kind of in a bottle and can have more burst impact, and any burst impact that Orisa wants to have can be mitigated by Genji. Really the only tool she has against Genji is gold, and if Genji's able to bait that out, that applies a ton of pressure onto Orisa's backline once that gold's down, and the team can just kind of walk through her. Because Orisa doesn't have anything that Genji deflects, or that she would deflect out of Genji that he's not okay with losing. Genji in the backline getting a kill onto the Moira, seeing the Brig. Don't know if he's able to follow up on her. Both supports.
And Gato's getting comfortable just using these ults to close out the fight. I mean, Blade's already popped, and Reason just goes, I have Rail, we almost have 2 other ults, let's just pop it. Let's just close it out. That's a cool...
So yeah, like I was saying earlier, if you get to the third part and you have no intention to win it, you never need to push that and try to win in front of their spawn. You can just play for those middle 3, because that engagement is so far away from your spawn. Now, if you have the ult economy to just win the game like that, that's a whole different story.
Something else I noticed about Sheia's team's comp is there was a lot of pressure being put on just having one flanker there, and most of the team being so forward-facing, centered, that they unfortunately weren't able to capitalize on the man advantage they had on the front line, and Tracer pushes into the back and then just ends up getting picked off early because they're not able to make enough progress and pressure the rest of Gato's team. Next up, Suravasa.
Yeah, I think although they're both new maps, I and they both involve 5 points. I think these two map types couldn't be more dissimilar.
I was surprised at how close the spawns were there. Like, it really does put the team that just lost the point immediately in front of the next one. But those engagements are fast. Those are very quick.
And something I've mentioned before in my own assessment of the map, but it is, you really get one chance at each point. There is such little re-engage, and that's why I think when I look at Sheia's comp and I look at Gato's comp, the piece of the puzzle that stands out as the difference maker is Lucio.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get someone back, the only way it's gonna happen is with someone mobile like Lucio. And I think Kiri also to an extent.
That's the one similarity to Flashpoint, I feel, where it's just in a slightly different manner, where the speed is important on both ends of the spectrums when the fights are so quickly after one another that you need to be there immediately, or on Suravasa and Flashpoint in general, where it's just like, if you can get to the next point for the other team, you're in a good spot. Or if you can push out quickly and kind of force a hold at the other team's spawn and be able to pull back to point, the capping is so much faster than regular like Koth maps or even old 2CP that it's so pressuring to not have speed. It puts you in such a big deficit.
I think most of Overwatch is turning into that. I think really the archaic game modes of Hybrid and Escort are really the maps where you can mount a defense without a Lucio, but even Control, Push, Flashpoint, Clash, having that Lucio to get you back into the fight faster seems to be the answer most of the time.
And if you're not going to have a Lucio, it emphasizes the need to have a team fight plan before you go in. You need to know what you're doing before you get there, because any other time loss is significant.
I'm liking both teams going for the high ground route here, trying to get their Sojourner in position on the side of Gato's team. Sojourner dropping down early. Don't know if that was intentional.
Phoenix, can they get Chris early? Forcing an ice block. Nobody's coming to help. They think they might have this. And it's, I don't know if that was just them ignoring calls for help or deciding that they couldn't engage there, but that's, I mean, they get the point first, but they're down too.
Yeah, I don't think that was in the playbook for Gato's team. I don't believe their intention to get their Sojourn on high ground was for her to immediately drop onto the Mei.
Yeah.
And I think when that aggression came in, the Lucio and the Queen were both, do we have speed? Do we have shout? No. Okay, so then we kind of just have to hope this works out. But Mei is kind of the perfect target to fall onto from the side of Sheia's team, because she can slow Soj as well as mitigate any oncoming damage by healing herself with cryostasis.
We'll see what Team Sheia does with this lead here. Shout comes out early. Wall
doesn't really stop anything, but it does. Yeah. It is kind of annoying.
Yeah. Suzu comes out. ACS is low. Gato's low. Oh, 2 quick kills back to back.
Yeah. I think it's important to die fast here. I think you have a chance to mount a re-engage, but not if we're dying this late.
Yeah. We're at 70.
There's a chance with Lucio coming back to spawn to be able to get Soj out, but it looks like Lucio's gonna opt to leave Soj and just try to maybe win this engage with Beat Pulse. But it's gonna be matched with 5.
Yeah. We'll see if Sheia has the patience here.
The Pulse goes wide.
That's curious. Oh, ACS.
No beat now.
Yeah.
Side of Sheia. It should be a fight.
Full either. Honestly, at this point, a decision I respect.
Yeah, I think losing Pulse isn't a big deal. I think losing Orisa ult feels a little bad, but I think trading that for beat is fine. You're really just worried about Rush and Rail, which could win the next 2 fights. Because I think the Mei ult now lost a lot of its efficiency, because now you're playing into a team that's mounted a defense.
Ideally, what Team Gato does is stagger them out, as beat can only answer one of them. And so, got a little bit of this. Cole doesn't do enough against Queen ult.
It's time to dodge this.
Oh, huge freeze.
Nobody dodging. Late beat just to confirm it.
Yep.
That should be point.
There we go.
Excellent. All right. I mean, I think the beat is a little bit overzealous, but I think if we engage fast with Cole,
Yeah, they're gonna have to, especially if they want to overcome the 4 ults that are about to be online for Gato's team.
I think they're unlucky by the randomization of the map. I don't like Cole on Gardens. I think the angles are tough.
Very easy to corner. You've got a box, essentially. Oh, that's a big wall.
Big wall, huge anti, able to clean up on the Lucio.
Wow.
Here comes the Cole to try to sustain without the Lucio. That might be your best use
Really
of
trying
Cole,
to
but she
burn
still
down
dies.
ACS. Yeah.
Focusing
Standing a little
so
too
much on
close for
ACS, but still getting that self-healing plus the Kiriko heals to stay up.
Yep.
Plus the rush. I mean, the rush really secures getting cooldowns back.
They
Getting
were
ACS
able to get 2
position.
ults out of that. I mean, no Queen ult, no Kiri ult. That's much better than before, but they're about to have Zio, Pulse, and...
Again, I'm just
Sophia.
worried about freeze and ults like Orissa's where you're not on point yet, you know? With defensively, I love those ults, but offensively, it feels a little easy to kite and then mitigate. It's gonna come down to these main
Yeah.
walls.
Forcing Orisa to sprint into you is tough.
I like the beat there. I like the pulse. The Orisa ult, I don't think is really able to get any value.
Yeah, I would have saved it. I mean, yeah. That's unfortunate.
I don't know if there's a recontest here either. Like, there literally can be because of the late death on Lucio being able to get everybody out of spawn. But again,
I wouldn't
on the back
blame
of Pulse.
Chris for popping Soul's ult hurt early here and just saying no. No, you can't touch point. Are they gonna try and touch?
I mean, they're set up
Where's the
to.
Lucio from around back? Okay,
Okay, I like this Mail.
that was smart actually. It even tricked me. I didn't see the Lucio sneaking from the side. I thought it was May's job to touch. Let's see if they're able to do anything. No
All
ult
these in hell.
for Sheia's team. Just raw Overwatch mechanics. We got Chris a little far in the back line. Gato trying to touch. Dies.
It was a dry
They
fight
only get
entirely
three?
from Gato's team, so I think they might be planning to use these DPS ult, tank ult on the re-engage.
That Kiriko, yeah. Wolfinkat just got bailed out. It's close to a very, very late stagger.
Mounting an offense from, it looks like flipping the map.
Yeah.
They might be a little confused on where they're going.
I think Reason might have wanted to engage from the side. Took a little bit of damage trying to push up there.
I think they've now put themselves in this team fight has to be a win. I don't think they have enough time for a recontest anymore.
And only one
Let's
thing
just
that's
get this
here.
Sojol.
Beat Cole. If Shea seems able to stall this out. Oh wow.
He
Big
used and
handle.
Queen ult. Yeah, Queen ult goes out. And still
And I don't
no
think they
ult
have
from
that.
Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, holding onto it for way too long.
Thank you for the assistance.
That was well done.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think that
very
was
well
exactly what they needed. I think their ult economy is back on track now. I think the double support ults is really the only thing you need to fix coming into the next one.
Yep.
But I think Ruins is going to be a map where, a part of the map where, I was going to say the Queen comp is going to get more utility, but looks like they're swapping completely off of it. Chris might die early here.
Oh. Okay. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize on that. But
Yeah, I don't think they're willing to go that deep for Chris.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why, because I mean, especially because we can see that the rest of the team's not there.
was not there. And you
yeah.
have Maywall. I
And
mean,
it's just Zenworp. It's not really something you should be that worried about. But it looks like they just wanted point, get the early ticks. It's a bit of a long walk. Maybe they were tired. They just wanted to go home.
I love that we're seeing a little bit of an echo duel here. Oh, Reason catches Arctic Exile. Chris
Low DPS
gets
down.
rail pick. Yeah.
Good flank by the Echo to get the Lucio low.
I hear it's
That
just
should be it.
stalling point. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Okay. What? Yeah. Yeah.
You're
No
fine to
abuse.
lose the Zen there.
Yeah.
I think the Zen swap isn't really an adaptation. I think it's a bit of frustration from not getting enough damage done. And I think that comes off the back of the ability of Sheia's team to stay alive. Like having mitigation with Moira, mitigation with May. Tracer had mitigation.
Oh,
Echo
wow.
not as much, and we're learning why now that maybe that's a little bit more difficult. I like the shield and the Echo placement right there. The shield was there, blocking up a damage. Echo just got a ton of damage off at first. And I also like the Zen for the healing on the Echo. You pretty much get the hard dedicate to that.
Wow.
Looks like she has
That was
one fight.
Good early hold there from Team Gato, just capitalizing on a pick.
The ult economy, looking up at the top of the screen, this is going to be an ult fight. Everybody's going to have ult. Maybe Beat and Flux don't make it.
If
but
they hold early again, I don't think there's anything Sheia's team can do about it.
I like the
But I think we're
transform
gonna
too.
hold back. Was a little too caught out on the side, got distracted.
Yeah, definitely. I don't... Yeah, this is a scrappy fight, but I do think
That's
Gato's
bad.
team just has this. I think the transform on Ursa gives you enough sustain that even though you lost your Sig, you still have a tank. Which is a good swap idea. Or good copy idea, rather.
Okay, so they buy themselves a little bit more time.
This is a really good point for Gato's team as well. It's right out of their spawn. Temple, I think, gives you a lot of good angles for Sojourn. And I think May has a tough time here unless you get early picks over here. Because on point, it's
Just like that.
it's a box, but with 4 exits. So it's really hard to get a really efficient Maywell unless the red team pushes out and tries to back up. And you disallow that with Maywell. But I don't know if that's the way they're going to play.
Why did... I guess I wasn't paying attention to spawn routes, but I don't understand why Sheia's team decided to take that route to point. Or were they trying to catch Gato's
Where is the
team
Sojourn
early?
playing? This Sojourn is definitely dead.
Yeah. Okay. Got a
Is that-
little
and that's not the
overzealous
same rail, right? I'm not going crazy.
there. Ooh. I wish I could tell you that I remembered another one.
And it looks like Gato's probably dead here. Oh,
Oh, I
huge
can fight this
flex
guy
though.
here.
That's one as long as you keep Gato up. You stay in this room. No, okay, that should be.
Okay.
The amount of damage still was just too high. Again, the sustain from Sheia's team is just too high for even a Zen plus Sig to really burn through in that situation.
I think Sheia's team finally has like the actual ult economy advantage here.
They're not stacking support ults. That is just, we beat it, but we kept Cole, so that's important.
Yep.
The DPS are swapped on ults as well.
And they're finally in a position where Orissa's ult can be used defensively as well as they ult. They don't have to sprint at somebody and pop it.
And I like that they have...
They can really catch people off guard.
It's a bummer that they
Especially
don't
the
have
Desperate.
one of them right now, though. They need that Orisa to get up to ult. Yeah,
Oh no.
playing aggressively to try to get that Orisa to ult. But we like the
Okay.
rock. Sojol to kill the Orisa.
Pushes
Good
in,
ult. Good
Risa
ult.
gets-
Okay.
Well.
Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe you just save Sojol to win a fight later. And that's a cheap win. That is a Sojol.
That was a really interesting engagement where Chris pops ult and just sprints to the center of point while the rest of the team was looking at, I think, the Echo, I think Reason on the other side of the map, and just gets 2 because nobody's looking at him.
The amount of distance they're going to have to cover with this comp to get onto point is going to make a lot of space for Echo.
Yeah, you're really
And
seeing
Zen.
this. Oh, and freeze. Okay. Okay.
I don't think the tank dies through that.
Yeah, full
Big
charge. Is it enough? Oh, and they get the boot kill. Oh,
I think that's a wrap.
I mean,
4v2 with...
no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And
with that
yeah, the
beat.
beat's gonna close it. That's it.
We see a ball to potentially late contest.
They'll touch, but I think between Orisa, May, and Lucio, I don't think there's much of
And
both.
there's no swap on the Zen, so there really is no help for this ball. I think the ball is kind of gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was well done. Yeah, spear into wall is a good way to close that out.
Yeah, sorry, ball. That's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah, I know you got buffed, but it's still pretty counterable.
Yeah, I think, once you get that defensive positioning with the Orisa May, it's hard to break. No matter really what comp you are, but
There's
especially
just
a comp like
so
that.
much health. There's
Yeah.
so much health you have to get through. It's impossible, especially with
Health,
the Moira.
cooldowns, Moira,
Oh.
yeah. They really have everything there.
Okay. So we're 3-1. Let's see if we can do a little bit of a reverse sweep here. Make it 3-3, nice eventide game.
We're seeing Greninja come back, which I like for a map like Hollywood. A lot more high ground, a lot more utility on that Genji.
Yeah, Genji can really catch you off guard here. You think you're safe on the high ground, but he can cover some distance, especially vertical distance, very quickly. And for Gato's team,
Looks like they're definitely going to need a swap because they've lost one of their supports. I don't know if that was intentional, if something happened, or if maybe just a computer reset for graphics or something. But I'd be interested to see Goop come back in on support. Maybe Reason come back onto support. It really is whatever you want to make of it. But I'm wondering, do you think Arctic X playing Echo in that last map makes me think that maybe we might see Echo Genji with Diva? Because we've seen Satu play Diva.
Yep.
We've seen Bowser play Lucio on the first map, and we've seen Sheia play Moira and Kiri. I think that is a pretty decent comp to construct. I think that might be the way they go about it. Or, this is just pocket knowledge. I know Bowser Deneko plays Winston.
Oh, like Sheia has a contention.
We'll pause. We'll give them the time they need. So it looks like I can't tell from just the health values. I'm trying to see into the future, try to be an oracle a little bit. But if Goop's coming in for the support, like just for the swap, I'm wondering, does that mean they're actually going to play support? Or is it just, it could be Chris, it could be Reason? I'm very curious.
Yeah.
I'm wondering with the tank line, the Sheia team has been, roles haven't been as concrete. The DPS players have played DPS, but other than that, and Sheia remaining on support, the swaps between tanks and supports have been a little bit more free flow.
Yeah, I think it's, I've seen Satu and Bowser Deneko on
both,
on tank, both tank and support.
And then the DPS and support seem to be swapping around on Gato's team, which looks to be Reason's going back onto that. Instead of playing Reason on the Kiri, or on the Ana and Gato on Kiri, it's now flipped.
We've got a very rangy offense here.
As cheery as you.
No, okay.
I think that was just for me. Now if we I don't want to try to start a trend or anything, but I've been calling the Moira Kiriko backline piss ticket. And I don't hate the backline. It's super survivable.
Oh yeah. Well, it's also
pretty much, you have no excuse to get
healing, and arguably the two best duelists in the game. So.
And then you really don't need to heal Tracer Sombra. So it's just pumping into the Winston with one of them, and then the other one dealing damage. And it really doesn't matter who's doing what.
And there is a lot of, I will say, cleanses that can happen here between Fade, between Recall, between Translocator, between Suzu. Hopefully that means that the anti-nades from the Ana aren't going to be as big of an issue here.
I like how together Sheia's team's playing, because this isn't like a spread out brawl like dive team. This is a death ball dive. Everybody go in on the same thing. While I think ACS's team, or ACS on the Winston, needs to make space for the Ashe. And it looks like that's happening.
Yep.
You have Ana on the high ground, Ashe on the low ground applying damage. If Ashe gets jumped, Coach Gun's there. Everyone's now funneled into this building.
Patience there was very good of not pushing it a little bit too early and making himself an easy target. Just waiting until his team pushes Sheia's team back, walks in, takes the space. And
I like the offensive potential here too, because if you get your Ana and Ashe up on one of these high grounds on the second point, and it stays uncontested, similar to what we saw in Ilios and Rialto,
Yeah.
It's gonna put out a lot of pressure.
You are gonna have to have some very tight engagements onto the high grounds if you wanna hold them defensively. Because I gotta say, Sombra has a very obvious engage chucking Transload Gator straight up onto the high ground, and Tracer doesn't have the easiest time taking the elevators.
Sleep on a Tracer should confirm the kill.
Oh,
They
huge
don't
recall.
3-2-1.
Wow. Okay, we got a monkey on point. Drops bubble.
Yeah, I still think.
Doesn't get after.
Yeah, I still think Sheia's team is a little out of position with the early kill.
And a little staggered with the engagements. I mean, the Lucio just the Tracer just barely gets out, and then Bowser and Echo engagement right afterwards.
Gato's landing back-to-back sleeps too, and I only think that's happening because of the lack of the pressure onto the Ana because of these daggers. I think if you're to mount a defense on this high ground, that's what you need to do if you're Sheia's team. But now, like I mentioned, Ashe is in position. They don't have Ana in position, but I don't think they really need it. I think just
I love that was sleep. God.
And Dynamite in the bubble.
Dynamite, and Chris just has free range here.
Tracer finally getting up to the high ground, taking so much damage for it though.
Yep, Rico comes out, can confirm the kill, Elise is getting pocketed by the Kiriko now. I don't think it's gonna happen, no.
There's no pulse bomb.
Oh.
There's no way to quick burst it down. I think that's just point 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying. I think they had to have a very coordinated engagement, and they were just way too staggered.
And it doesn't look like they're advocating to swap spawns. I think they're just going to walk out of here. I do like the swap onto the Orisa, because I think in this last point you're going to get a lot less value out of Winston.
Dive is harder, especially for Winston, yeah. You really only got 2 direct passive engagements, but both can be pretty easy to stuff. But unfortunately,
they just get this first part for free because of the lack of the
they opt
swapping spawns.
to swap spawns.
Right.
The Dynamite hit the Tracer? I don't think so. No, okay, it would have been sneaky.
And throughout all of this, you think with this amount of push they're getting that they'd be down in ult economy, but they really haven't expended anything.
Yeah. I mean, Pulse?
And yeah, if you're down Pulse at 63% at this point, you're not worried about it. You're gonna get it quick.
Early kill.
There's a potential for them to kill the 3 here where both supports are caught out. No fade on Moira. And Rob.
And then they can
Rob
just
is
pop
not here. Oh!
Huge EMP, but Suzu
big
cleanses
pulse.
it. And Pulse, wait.
But I don't think there's
We
anyone
have a bop point. It's just making it impossible for these squishies to stay for any meaningful amount of time.
Yeah, and this is the point of like that. I liked that engage, but 5 ultimates.
Yeah, almost had it. Completely, the Bob's not there. And the Pulse lands.
Yep.
I mean, that's a 1 fight.
That's a good looking team fight if they didn't have 5 ults. And that only happens when you apply pressure. And the second point I didn't see really any.
Yeah, I think taking a second, planning engagements, yeah, I don't know, the patience thing.
It's similar to what happened on Rialto. It's like if you wait a minute, you let them take space so that your spawn advantage starts to happen, and take advantage of the high ground early. Find a target, which shouldn't be hard against a comp that has Ana and Ashe. You can really pick one or the other. And then if you never want to engage and you wait for their monkey to engage, you can always counter dive.
Yep.
So I think it's just deciding on one of those things, recognizing that maybe let them take the space and make their walk to the cart longer, make those respawns harsher, is really, instead of trying to hold early and doing it in a way that's a little haphazard. There's too much geometry around this first going into second choke.
I worry that the pressure is forcing some people into the mindset of I need to do something, I need to carry, and then that just creates restlessness and mistakes, and you're too aggressive, you get caught out, and it just snowballs from there.
I love the positioning by the defensive Winston here. I highly advocate for the use of that room. It cuts off Tracer flanks, it allows you to dive aggressively onto the high ground, and allows you to not take front-facing damage, and then cut off any backliners by placing bubble aggressively.
Yeah, an unfortunate thing is that, like, Sheia's team doesn't really want the high ground there. So even if they go up there, it's like, okay, they can just wait. There's really no pressure here until the dive comes in.
This is
Sleep.
I like the counter dive, but
Ran into
Pregame able to get a kill. Both DPS getting a kill on the range, support and damage, which is exactly what you want.
See if the focus happens here. Gets a hack onto the Kiriko. Suzu comes out. And Coop on the Venture with a drill kill.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. In that,
Yeah.
I don't see Venture as a dive hero. But in the way that Brig is a dive hero, because Brig counters dive so well, Venture might also be that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you need Venture not to die, they can just hide underground.
Venture's hitboxes are so generous, you're kind of guaranteed to take a face load of damage if you try to dive onto him.
Yeah, and the drill, not the melee, but like the actual ability, definitely disrupts dive. And it is just enough mobility that you need for an anti-dive. Gets both DPS out of that. I know the kill feed doesn't say Venture, but applied so much pressure.
Yeah. No, that was a really interesting back and forth. I mean, forcing the Venture to sprint to the opposite side of the map, but then you're stuck with a Moira and a Kiriko completely away from the rest of their team. And it's not good.
Ult economy is looking really good for Team Gatos too. I think after this fight, maybe early in, you're gonna get both Rush and Nano, which are gonna come right in time for the Winston to probably primal early, and then still be able to engage.
I'd be interested to see the damage numbers because I wonder how much just extra damage they're doing to get these ults so much faster. I wonder if that's like a prevention thing from Gato's team that they're doing really well, or just, I don't know, a lack of focus, but they're really just eclipsing them in all here.
And you're seeing the counter dive happen every time. They are not engaging until they see the Winston jump on the backline, and then they kill Winston and then go from there. They see who is left behind the Winston that went with and is in easy kill range, start there, and then move towards the people who were left behind.
Well, and we're at a minute now, and you've got to think. I pray they don't take an engage until they have to. And
4 ults versus 4
get
ults.
the ults. And don't engage a second before you have them all.
You're just waiting really on Cole.
You need Cole, and then you need to EMP and capitalize swiftly on somebody.
I think you hit Venture with EMP if you can.
I'll see Venture's diving in. Kiri's hacked, cleanses, there's no Suzu.
Cleanse, yeah.
Counter, Kiri ult.
Double rush. Losing Ana's huge.
But the
Venture's able to get ult in that fight, starting at 60 at the beginning. The EMP never coming in, especially that is the ult that you need to engage with. That's a miss.
Yeah, when Kiri ult happened,
that's when
his team, that was when you had to pop it and capitalize quickly.
Right before the Venture pops ult.
Yep.
And this is just cleanup now. Robert's involved.
EMP comes out.
EMP comes out, but the team's dead.
Yeah.
And now it's just Sombra, just desperation touch.
Yep.
And that should be
right. Not much you can do there.
Honestly, the difference maker, I know that we're seeing a lot of good Venture there. We've seen Reason come out on some pretty good Echo picks. I'm seeing a difference in the backlines. I think the positioning of the backline is allowing Gato and Co to apply a lot more pressure and stay a lot more safe to allow their front line to do more and not have to worry about peeling as much.
Yeah.
While by the time that the team is engaged on Team Sheia, the backline is usually either dispatched or in trouble.
Yeah, or forced to use those important cooldowns. And yeah, just like we saw, there's just a few times where they're forced to disengage, and then that just kind of leaves the rest of their team stranded. Whereas Team Gato gets to kind of play it safe, play back a little bit, receive peel, and then just survive and be able to heal their team.
I think that also comes with the that Ana Kiri backline. You have one that can go deep, apply pressure with the front line, and then Ana.
Always have an anchor to get you out.
Looks like we're actually going to be able to keep Dream in with Arctics. And then I'm wondering any swaps coming in from the other team for this theoretically last map with new queens. And this is another map where dive can be good. It's where that queen comp can get value.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen Sig. There's a few spots where you can really capitalize on Sig. Yeah, really a Swiss Army knife. I'm kind of predicting we're gonna see potentially some queen. Once again, I wouldn't fault Sheia's team for trying the Orisa. A lot of long sight lines. And again, if you have control of the robot, similar to like we're talking about on the strength of like Mei ults and Orisa ults when you're on point and they have to come to you, if they have to come stop the cart, you know.
Yeah, I guess I would just have to wait and see the comps, but yeah, I like the idea of mobility here.
Ball.
With the ball changes, I've been liking the ball changes. I definitely think they're cool. I like the idea of infinite grapple back, but only under certain circumstances, which I think is cool. And honestly, yeah, I mean, everyone else has felt pretty good. I don't really think that last meta was too bad. So I think the kind of tweakish changes we've seen in yesterday's patch is kind of all I wanted. Any big sweeping changes would have made me probably think twice. And try to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it doesn't seem too different at the moment. I suppose the Lucio changes might be a bit relevant, but
weirdly enough, these comps are similar in what they do.
Yeah.
We're seeing three of the same pieces. So. We're seeing Doom and Ball, which are like CC engagement, right? But the Ana and the Brig. The Brig is better at healing flankers, exponentially so, and better at keeping yourself alive. But Anti.
Yeah, but Anti.
Anti and nano engagement.
It's pretty big. It's a big but. See, ACS trying to take off angle off the side.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have Doom. So we'll have to see. Yeah, the early pick onto Echo. You never really want to be stuck in that room as Echo, especially against a Doom. But Ana, in this situation, like we mentioned before, alone.
Yeah. And
but not able to finish the kill.
That's unfortunate. Yeah. Bowser Echo gets very low there. I don't blame him for trying to assess the situation. I think you could have pathed differently.
Right. I think if anything there, you go for the kill in the Ana, you get in Ana's face, because Ana's going to do the same damage to you no matter what. Try to confirm the kill. If not, hop off the map if it's really that dire.
Sprint into their backline.
Yeah. Right. Ball really doesn't need to be dying.
Quick re-engage, Slam comes in, doesn't get anything, and nobody's there to really, I mean, look, you're forced.
There's no
Suzu out, and then the Anti to follow it up is, it's just such a strong.
Yeah.
Permanently on the back foot in that entire engagement. And a sleep onto the Tracer just to really,
Ana doing the most
on the cake there, yeah.
Let's stop them.
And this is another situation where Ball doesn't need to die, might be opting to. Yeah. I understand the contest though. That makes sense to me, but it's not really gonna net you too much. I think they get butt scratched no matter what.
Yeah.
All eyes on Durgeon right now. This pulse bomb can come up big, especially with the swap on his end, because there's no Brig to get in your way.
Yeah, I mean they're doing, I'll say, a good job of rotating attention here. Where you have Doom taking focus, and then you have the Echo taking focus, and then while that's happening, the Doom rotates out, Tracer goes into, and it's just like
cycling.
When you're trying to remount a contest from defense, it's exhausting. They're able to take the bot back.
Yeah, I do think one of the weaknesses of Team Gato's comp is once one domino falls, the consistency of Sheia's comp will start to seem more severe, and then one of your Doom dies. Okay, well now there's less pressure coming in the front line, which lets them walk onto their Kiriko, who doesn't have an out anymore, and then the Ana's exposed. But then you have this, Doom Nano Engage.
Yeah, Doom Nano Engage. And unfortunately a lot of resources there went into trying to keep the DPS up from a flank on the other side of the train. But
they were able to get rid of forward spawn. Not that anybody died, but there's a potential here for them to get a touch with the Tracer before they retouch on Butt Scratch, but it doesn't look like they're going to take it.
I don't want to be a broken record, but like, again, Team Gato has 4.
They're not really expending a lot to get this value.
Yeah.
No ult to save
huge balls.
themselves. They do swap
Beautiful.
copy Orisa, but Greninja's just going crazy.
Yeah, Greninja's gotta go fuck wild here. What just
This
happened?
turn, the Orisa.
No.
The Orisa transformed to be the tank they needed, and then Gato not being phased by losing Cat.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Durgan's still alive with a Pulse Bomb. There is no tank here. They can't push forever. Eventually, the pressure's going to get on them. Wow, forcing recall early.
That Doom's back. I mean, no slam, no punch, but quick abilities.
And we're looking at Rush. And a Pulse on the Zen before Trance.
Huge. Oh.
You can keep Gato up through this.
I
You're
think
trying to get out of that ult.
Oh!
But Goot goes down. It's still winnable.
It dies.
It's still so winnable.
Nice.
They might just be able to walk this home. Oh no, the early Zen!
Trance? If he can get Trance, he can contest, but...
Oh, but the Echo's gonna die way before Trance makes it.
Oh, just almost get the... Oh, no, the...
And the Suzu.
So low.
I think it's gonna
99
go Zen before Trance.
No! Oh, it was right there.
Orisa though. Orisa could hold out long.
That's a Genji.
Full health. Yeah. And they're coming back with
Like
Trance.
doing
I
a
don't
lot
think
of work
I don't
there.
think this is walk in.
Greninja gets the kill. Orisa goes down, though. That's so unfortunate.
Greninja really just trying to carry
Huge,
out of
huge,
this.
huge.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We get to see at least a few more minutes of the map.
Oh, thank god.
And maybe we're just wrong. Maybe Trance not getting spent there is because they need it for this fight.
Yeah?
So.
Yeah?
And the copy, I think ult-wise, I see this team at least getting the bot back to pushing. And maybe even to get Butt Scratch, because it looks like 2 ults are banked.
A lot of ults were spent there from Gato's team to not cap the point. So this is Sheia's team's chance to really push that momentum back in their favor.
Looks like Goop might even
Durf gets that early kill into us for, and then the Zen, like, what are you gonna do for the Zen? A pop ult there, maybe?
Goop swaps Orisa just to clean up the fight. Again, Greninja is just trying to salvage any scraps of this fight. At this point, if you're Kiri, you use, or the Echo copy on a Kiri, you use Kiri's teleport to get out of there.
Yep. Yeah, beaming down on Orisa with no gold is,
Especially with the Zen right there. That's like a good teleport target.
I think if both supports weren't up for Gato's team, Team Shea would have been able to capitalize, and I think Bowser and Echo and Architects would have been able to do enough damage there, but they just had both supports. There's so much healing.
We're seeing a lot of ults about to come online for Team Shea though. But Rush. Rush, in my opinion, is the best ult in the lobby right now.
Yeah.
A lot can get done.
Huge. Okay. Zen ult?
Really nothing else you need.
Okay.
You're gonna invest Blade. You might want that back, but...
Nothing else, please. That's fine. Ana's staggering here,
Stagger yourself, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, this is the part where I was talking about earlier. This is where the push comes in. Yep. I don't know if we confirm Butt Scratch anymore because of the Genji Blade, but Cole plus Orisa ult is going to mitigate so much cart pressure.
Not dying to pulse. Vital. Huge step 1.
Now, next step is
really
Nano Doom.
Hiding the Nano Doom is going to be, the next step. And then we pray Goop doesn't hard carry with a transport Orisa again.
Okay, immediately gets the transfer down. ACS can't even get Nano Doom. This guy, but the backline.
No, the anti onto Sheia, I don't think Laura had faith there.
No. The back line of Gato and Cat getting 3 kills between the two of them, as well as mitigating all oncoming pressure.
Taking flight.
And
really
not
did the
needing to
most.
use Nano there. So now we have a Nano engage.
With really against nothing but a copy. Copy could whiff.
I think I would love to see it. Hopefully, if the tank doesn't die early, a copy to get their own Ana. You know?
That or just Tracer.
Yeah.
Just to add that extra pressure. But yeah, the Ana would be a nice engagement. I just don't know if there's too much to follow up. Doomfist, probably the only one I would have avoided. But again, applying pressure.
Able to get kills. Yeah, I mean, distracts Gato's team enough with the sleep call that they're able to shoot the back of some heads.
Yeah. Greninja Arctic's just coming up with kills now.
There we
Okay,
go.
they're at another point where they're able
see
to
it.
get some push. Butt scratch has to happen from this. The issue is
They've
all they have is
still
Blade.
held on to Nano. They're
Nano
gonna have
Doom.
lead. Yeah, we need Cole to come online.
Tracer contesting from this high ground is huge. This is gonna buy a little bit of time.
Anybody? Do they? Oh, okay, it's
They're probably just gonna let them have this corner and then engage.
Yep.
If they engage too early, I think you're gonna get too much value out of the blade, getting people caught out.
Getting to a point where time becomes a very big factor for Sheia's team.
Well,
That
he's-
was so much damage.
And
So
Genji's already at half health. Genji can't even help with this engage.
that was 3 people going from full health to under 20% in half a second.
Interesting.
With
Very
an
interesting
anti
blade.
Desperation? I mean, you've got 45 seconds left, but that's... I mean, they're pushing...
That was
it.
enough time to re-engage with blade. It didn't need to happen there.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, if I'm Gato's team, I don't push the
ults.
cart back.
5 ults and, well, 4 with potential for rush, but I see rush getting hit. And I agree, I probably just don't push cart. But they now confirm the butt scratch. Now they literally don't need to push it. Now they have 4 in spawn. So I see the advantage with this.
Out. Gato goes in. We went Greninja a little deep in the back line.
You just immediately out of ult. We're even, but I would rather have Moira.
Yep.
And I'd rather have Lucio.
That's...
And there's really
No
no ults
healing.
anymore. You might get an Irisol, but I don't think it does anything.
The armor is not enough. It's not enough armor.
Genji stall, but even Greninja here, I don't think there's really anything left in the tank. Lucio to touch. They rush. The beat
Oh
Cole.
my God.
Okay. There's a chance that Echo can come back.
Still in it.
Oh, but the Cole
They
gets
need to get
canceled by
a kill.
punch.
Wow.
Yep, that's that.
That was that. Yeah, that was... unfortunate, but well played.
I think that's the ball game too. I mean, okay. Looking back at all the maps, we're seeing from Sheia's team, I'm impressed by Greninja. Ability to find picks in situations where I don't really think it was supposed to happen that way.
Yes.
I'm
There's
loving
some very clutch moments.
Gato ACS from both their Ana perspective or the Sojin perspective of finding space on high ground.
Yep.
I'm liking the Hollywood defense from Team Gato. That was very smart, very clinical.
But yeah. Yeah, it would be hard for me to critique any aspect of that defense.
And although Hanaoka was very one-sided, I really can't pull a lot from that map yet. It was a little too one-sided.
I mean, even I was caught off guard by the end there. I was just like, wait, it's over? That was... It's so fast, and if you haven't played enough of it, it's gonna catch you off guard. How ready you need to be.
I think Ilios also painted a little bit more even picture. I know we didn't see a third point on that, but the comps were changing. Everyone was kind of adapting to what was going on, but I think that quick Winston or Doom-esque dive, even with the Queen to an extent, that Team Gato found, they found that their pace that they could output was a little higher, and they took advantage of it, which is important.
Yeah, I something I definitely think is evident is that a lot of this isn't necessarily a mechanics gap by any means, but I think much more of a synergy gap of just the quickness with which Gato's team was able to disengage, re-engage, and cycle ultimates was just ahead. And that makes the difference if people are evenly skilled, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you can win your 1v1s if the team fight is being won, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun watch. I enjoyed both
Yeah.
teams. I think everybody showed that there was a little bit of skill in the back pocket, no matter what role they're on. I liked some of the aggression coming out of Bowser, Daneko's Lucio. I liked Arctic's Tracer. I think that was really where they shined the brightest. I think the Sombra was
I was
similar enough.
pleasantly surprised by their Echo. Played a little similar to Tracer at some points, but there were still some moments where the capitalization and the urgency was there when it needed to be.
Phoenix Gamer swapped to Reaper. I liked that as well. I liked Chris's patience on Soj on Team Gato. Really anything a Reason touch seemed to work out, similar to the rest of the DPS line of that team of Goop and Durgent. They all seemed to be really in sync with what each other wanted to do. Versatility of all the tanks, really, both Satu and Bowser, Daneko, and ACS having to one-man show.
Congratulations to Team Gato for winning the Aura Fury Classic. It was definitely some close matches tonight and well fought on both teams. Not all the maps ended up going to a single team, so it was definitely a fun match to game. So congratulations to everyone involved tonight, and thank you for playing. There's one thing I really want to hit before I let you all go. Congratulations to Brazosport College's Gator Gaming esports team. They really pulled it together this year with limited resources, and for some of the members, it was literally the first time they'd ever played Overwatch. And for pretty much everyone that was involved, they'd never played on an esports team before. And on top of that, you know, we had members kind of coming and going as members figured out, you know, was this something I wanted to play or not? Was this something I enjoy? Some of you actually had to, you know, deal with the challenge of actually being criticized, well, constructive criticism, that is, to help you grow as a player. And normally you don't deal with that when you just play games for fun. But it has been so impressive to see how inclusive and welcoming you have been for all the members that have come in, even when the members were joining later on. And even though you had a lot of tough matches throughout the year where you dealt with, say, losses and ones where you may have even gotten run over, I was in those voice chats, and it was really special to hear because you were still having fun. You were still learning from the event. And that's what it's all about, you know, working as a team, growing as a team, and moving together as a team. And I am so proud of all of you for everything that you have done this year. And I look forward to seeing all the amazing things that you're going to do in these coming years. And I thank you so much for helping build such an amazing esports team here at Brazosport College. Even though we had so many different challenges on the resource side of things, we didn't have a lab, you know, we didn't necessarily have the ability to get people over to the area we were renting and things like that, but yet you still pulled through and you still helped each other. You helped all those that couldn't necessarily get there, whether it be rides or whatever it may be in these cases. So thank you for being such a great team, and I look forward to seeing you all grow going forward. And I also want to give a very special shout out to Justin Hill, our coach. You have done such an incredible job of keeping these guys together, helping them grow as a team, and building a culture of friendship and inclusiveness. Brazosport College, as well as Aura Fury, is so proud of everything that's been done on this team. And I look forward to seeing everything you do, because no matter what direction that you end up taking, I can guarantee you, you're going to be successful. And I sure as heck hope that we will see you around here at Brazosport someday. Thank you. So we figured, since we had the students together to do a little bit of a pregame interview, it would be interesting to kind of get more of their insight and what they'd like to see the Gator Gaming and Brazosport College esports teams do here coming into the future. So we asked all the same ones that answered the pregame questions, a few questions specifically about the esports program, as well as advice that they'd have for the organization itself, and as well as players that would be thinking about going into esports. whether or not it would be at the collegiate level or the pro level or even for a private team. So what would you say the difference is between, say, a collegiate team and a pro team?
So the collegiate team, we have a lot bigger focus on academics first. Yes, we focus on the game and growing as a team, but also we hold each other accountable and we make sure we get our homework and our schoolwork done first because we are college students first and foremost, which means then we don't get to have as many practices per week and we're not able to go to as bigger competitions at this point because we are focusing on, once again, we are students first and foremost and esports players secondly.
I think the biggest thing is academics. A collegiate team is gonna focus more on academics first. Like that's the important thing, and then whatever game they're playing comes second. Also, they spend a little bit less time than pro teams because in a pro team, that's your way of life. You're playing that game professionally, and so you have to dedicate all your hours to it. Not really the case with a collegiate team.
I'd say it's what you play for at the end of the day. If you are in a pro team, you are playing for merit at that point. You are playing to stand out from other teams and be better than other teams, get to tournaments, get anywhere else, etc. College teams are different in that way. You're not playing on that level. You're not playing on a pro level. You might, but chances are you're probably not going to be there. I see more opportunities in a college team for scholarships and ways for students to get forward while doing things they enjoy. It's just an extracurricular activity. That's kind of what it's all about.
Biggest difference that comes to my mind first is how much more temporary a college team can feel or actually be, because I'm only able to be on the college team if I'm actively a student. So that kind of shortens my time being on a college team to maybe like 2 years, a year and a half longer than from today. While a pro team can kind of be much more elongated and give those players years and years of time collaborating together and being able to build upon being a team that can work at a professional level. And not that I don't think college teams can excel and do great together, but their time together is definitely much more limited in comparison to a pro team.
And how do you balance academics with practice time?
Yeah, I prioritize academics over this. The only thing about like the game that gets priority is like the scrim times we have, but any practice outside of that is adjusted for what I need to do academically.
That's the best part. It's most of these things take place late at night, so they kind of balance themselves out in a way. If I get home late, I still have that time to prepare for the scrim. Then I have time to do my homework afterwards, and that's fine. I have enough time throughout the week and the weekend to do that. If I get home early, I have the time before the scrim to study, do whatever I need to. Get to the scrim. After that, get whatever I need to get done. It's not really any challenge to balancing it. It kind of balances itself out. I'm sure someone with more responsibilities, maybe, less time on their hands would find it harder to balance out, but it's not hard to balance out an hour or so, 30 minutes or so a day, just to practice, kind of get familiar with the game. It's not much at all. And that definitely doesn't affect the academic side of it. I would argue for it's a benefit for the academic side of it, because going home and having something to look forward to that isn't school related, but still kind of school related, is good. It's something you enjoy, and it's not completely straying from school. And that's great. People have their own vices. My vice happens to be Overwatch, or games in general. Let people enjoy their thing.
Yeah, you get a chance to hang out with other people.
And, yeah, I've met great people on the team.
Yep, and then you're building your soft skills too, with teamwork and communication and things like that.
Exactly.
With what you're getting on the academic side.
Alongside, and I also make that argument, like, for any other sport, of course, sports are athletic. There's not really any athleticism in moving a mouse around or keyboard around, but you still get the teamwork aspect of it. You're still managing your team. You're trying to figure out, I'm catching my breath. But you're still managing your team. You're still figuring out where everyone is, why everyone's there, that everyone knows what they're doing, and that they're doing it right. And that's hard to manage. And that's a skill you can definitely transfer over into anything else in life.
With being a part of the college team and us only currently having 1 2-hour practice a week, at first that was easy. And then I joined another team that then took up 2 more of my nights for practice. But I'm very fortunate to be an employee here at the college. So I'm naturally here in the building much more often than I would be otherwise. So being much more involved in the college has actually made it a little bit easier for me to pick time periods for when I need to be dedicated to my schoolwork versus my extracurriculars or playing Overwatch.
So a lot of it is we hold ourselves and each other accountable for our own homework. We encourage each other to get their homework done earlier in the week or before scrims and practices in order to make sure that everyone can be there and be able to participate in scrims. The main thing as well is just we all might keep reminding each other constantly that, hey, we are students first and foremost and esports players secondly. Our education comes first.
Do you feel that you are growing as a individual player?
Yeah, I've seen over the last year that I've been playing the college team here that my communication skills and teamwork skills have grown drastically throughout the game, as well as my mechanical skills within the game have also massively improved. I've also learned to be able to, once again, communicate better with my fellow teammates, both inside and outside of games due to playing the game. And also I've learned to be able to work better as a team and learned to be able to trust and rely on other people rather than just relying on myself, which has massively helped both in-game and outside of game.
I definitely see myself growing because this is the first time in all of the time I've spent playing Overwatch that I've taken it competitively or just to another level. And so I'm able to see outside of scrims, practices, tournaments, whatever, and me just playing casually, I'm seeing the game differently than I ever have before. And I definitely have our coach to thank for that. His teachings, they definitely somewhat stay in my mind. Maybe not all of them, but most of them for sure.
Absolutely. When I first started this, actually, I was new to the game. And, you know, over the past 3/4 of a year that I've been playing this, I've learned a lot playing this game with teammates who are willing to support me and I'm willing to support them.
Okay. Would you feel it was harder to come in, being that you didn't know the game at all to start with?
A little. It was not my first. It's, you know, I've had experience with FPSs before, but this was my first time playing it, and so obviously there's a learning curve to it. You got to learn all the characters and stuff like that. But having a team that's willing to help you and guide you through it is very helping.
I feel as I'm growing greatly as a player, and outside of just the game, I feel as though I'm growing too. I feel as though I'm getting better at just taking more leadership. I'm kind of being forced into that role in the team. I'm making call-outs, having to tell people where to go. What plans do we do? Hey, let's make a plan. That's something I tend to use more now in real life. It helps me solve a lot more things. But as a player, yes, definitely. I've been doing it leagues better than I did before.
Awesome. That's good to hear. So what would you like to see the college team do next year?
I hope that we have opportunity for travel and to actually compete in arenas in person. Maybe that's asking for a lot, but it'd be really cool for us to have maybe even like team jerseys or shirts, actual like player cards that have our faces, the heroes that we play, probably our in-game names rather than our actual names on them, and for more of the community to know that we're here, that we're an esports team. I think the exposure would definitely also be really good for us.
Yeah, being able to go to LANs too gives you the opportunity to really connect with people that are in the industry and kind of see the jobs that surround it too, not just the esports team. Of course, being in the spotlight's an experience in its own too.
Right. Yeah.
So the main thing that the college can really do to help with the esports team would be supply someone who can help with reliable scrims and help with practices and able to keep up with the current up-to-date knowledge of the game to help keep us up to date with current strategies and counters and whatnot, as well as someone who can be there for the members, even in off times, help train us personally and give us pointers, advice, and just be there in general to help us grow as teams and individuals.
Okay.
I want to see it obviously continuing, but I want to see it expand a little bit. I want to see more new people show up. And I think ultimately I want to see it as a legitimate team that the college fully endorses.
I would like to see us playing at a higher rank, hopefully. At least diamond. Like, get everyone on the same page of getting like a rank up, getting into the game a little more. At least diamond rank, that would be fine. If we could get above that, awesome, great. But that would be better for the team. As far as being part of the club, I would like to see a little more funding go towards it. Maybe an actual coach position. That would probably help people get more engaged in the game. And from there, you're sinking more time into the game. You're getting better at the game. A better rank is just a side effect of anything else that happens before that. And I would like to see the college team there eventually. Next year would be good, but eventually.
What do you think the single most important thing the college could provide for the team is?
A dedicated coach. Just anyone that's always there, whose professionalism or like whose profession is taking care of like that sport, that in this case Overwatch. That way, if you need help improving, you don't have to go out and like, they have to build their schedule around you. At that point, they're always there full time to help you out if you need help. And that's great. That's awesome. At that point, you're not stuck playing day to day, waiting for someone to help you or like a schedule to free up. At that point, you just ask for help and you get it and you improve. And you need help again, you get it again. And that could be mentoring like over weeks or over a couple of days. But something like that would be very important, I feel.
Well, you can't have an esports team, much like any other sports team, without a coach. Having a hired full-time coach, I think, would do bounds and leaps for this team. In fact, I may or may not know a guy who would be great, because having an actual coach that's fully dedicated to the team, or much more dedicated than now, I think would only give the teachings that I mentioned earlier are already somewhat sticking, and I'm able to take them into other matches. I think it would make it much more effective and permanent and be able to make the college team excel even more than we are now with just the once-a-week practices, maybe becoming 2 or 3 times a week, to where we are getting much more of that time and collaboration to build and to make things like being able to travel and going to arenas and play and having more exposure, more people knowing about us, easier to make a reality for this team.
Okay. Would you say it's important for the coach to have one-on-one time with players too?
Yes, absolutely, because I would say that's kind of hard to get right now just because of people not having time for it. But if there is that dedicated time giving to a hired coach for that one-on-one coaching, I think that would even improve the team more, because if the coach is able to have one-on-one time with each player, that can kind of drill into each player's mind more the same principles or the same goals whenever it has whenever it comes to matches, playing matches together, because it is about teamwork and collaboration. So making sure we're all on the same page is very important.
I'd imagine it would create a bit of a different dynamic too, because right now, if the coach wants to correct something, he has to correct it in front of everybody else.
Right.
But if you have that one-on-one time, then it creates a more comfortable environment for you to actually be able to work on something and be able to point out very specific mechanics and work on maybe something that's only specific to you versus
Definitely.
the whole team.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Probably help with computers for the club. And yeah, probably help with computers for the esports team so that we can meet up in person at the college consistently, be able to be in person and practice together rather than online.
I believe it's a chance to succeed and grow. I think giving it a few years to develop and reach its potential and then allow itself to grow even more, I think that's the biggest thing. I see a lot of programs that aren't given a chance to succeed, and ultimately they're just waste of time whenever you don't invest into them.
Do you have any advice that you would give to somebody that's looking to get into esports in general?
I was lucky to be handed the opportunity to join 2 different esports teams, just essentially on a platter. So in terms of actually finding teams that are joinable, I don't really have advice for, but if you find a team or have a team in mind or kind of teetering on the edge of wanting to join an esports team, if you're truly passionate about the game you want to be on a team for, I'd say go for it. I personally didn't allow myself to hesitate because I know that I wanted to, or that my confidence can kind of, go up and down, which is normal. That's just kind of a part of it. So I would say definitely join if you feel like the passion is there. And once you are on the team, be very graceful with yourself. It's going to take time to get used to the people you're on a team with. You're not going to immediately click, and the games that you play with them might not go well off from the start, but that's because before joining the team, you didn't know those people, so you got to kind of keep that in mind. And above all, remember that it is just a game. It's meant for fun. There's a way to be competitive about something, but also to be lighthearted and more optimistic about it rather than the opposite.
I'd probably just say enjoy it. Like, make sure that's something you're going to be able to enjoy for a while, because it is a lot of work to do. It's not something necessarily hop into too lightly, and it is a major commitment like many other things. It does take time, it takes effort, and it can take a toll on you, but the outcome can be very worthwhile. It can help develop a lot of skills, it can help develop your social life too, and it can help give you encouragement through your teammates to keep up with your academic work.
I'm thinking if you really want to play a game competitively, you have to have a passion for it. Even if you're new to it, you have to be willing to grow a passion for it. And, because ultimately, if you're not having fun playing it, why are you bothering to play it anyway?
Enjoy the game you play, like, a lot more than you think you do. Because once you're in the team, at that point, it kind of becomes a chore to play it. So you have to enjoy that game. And you have to enjoy learning about the game. Deeper like strategies about the game. I had no idea there was 4 types of comp types. There's like rush, brawl, dive, poke. I didn't even know they were categorized. So learning about that and learning how to actually position, learning how to actually do anything else, it's always been really interesting. And that's what's kept me in the team for that long.
So we got one more piece for you. We actually got some what some are calling silly Overwatch. So this is just a fun match. The rules are a little bit differently, so they're able to play around and kind of have fun with this one. But we actually still have casted it. It wasn't actually part of the original plan, but everyone was just having so much fun, and we love seeing that here. And that's, in the end, that's what this is all about, right? I mean, sure, we want to compete and get better at the game, learn to play as team players, and really build all those different soft skills and everything that are there that go along with the technical skills of gaming. But sometimes it's good to have fun. So enjoy the match.
They say they want to do a silly game.
Silly watch. I mean, what do they want to do?
They want it to be
The
silly
silliest map?
watch. Silly watch for off roll. Yeah, what is the silliest map?
Yeah, I think
Kings.
they know the answer.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Maybe we'll see one last silly one. I know they are in a location that does not allow them to stay past a certain time, but
I mean,
I guess
relatively early.
can't displease the people.
Yeah.
This
Give the
one's
people
just
what they
this one's
want.
not for the books. This is off the record.
This is B-side content.
Yeah,
We
this
pay
is.
for it.
You stayed this long. For anyone who stayed this long, you get to watch silly scrims row.
All right, so I want to see Reinhardt's on both sides. If we're gonna do silly watch, just do the
Venture.
Rhine, Bastion, Venture.
Definitely.
Or
Venture.
you know what? Yeah. Let's go back to Amalgameta. Can we make it quick play rule set for time's sake? I think quick play is longer, isn't it? Or they just want defense. Offense, defense, get it over with.
But yeah, I think the Rhine. I would like to see more Venture. We saw a little, but I think Venture is someone I want to see a little bit more of. Alari even. I know Alari isn't that new anymore, but like, just don't really feel like there's any Alari going on.
Yeah.
I think Lifeweaver, weirdly enough, is good on this map. In the same way that like Bat Brig is good, I think Lifeweaver can slot into either of those because it's a support you really can't get to.
It is a nightmare trying to get up to pedal if you don't have the mobility.
A lot of
It's just the
comps
only
don't run
one shooting.
mobility here, so yeah, I think it's very good.
Surprisingly enough, I think it's hysterical for Venture. Venture has an easy time getting up to Lifeweaver on pedal.
And even if you don't, you can just destroy the pedal so quickly.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Two,
Shoot a
three
left
shots.
click up there, and then you hit
Drill.
with your drill. That pierces
yeah.
through it, and then hit one on the way down if it didn't break.
It's like it really, Lifeweaver's going through a mini Jaws experience.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Venture skin they got to make, right?
Right. Oh, that's such a
Oh,
good
come
idea.
on.
And you have the fin up while they're on the ground.
Oh, and you can see. Oh, that'd be so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would love
I'm
that.
already
TM,
thinking it.
Overwatch, contact us. We'll sell
Dig
yours.
Dug skin. There's so many options here.
Oh, Shovel Knight.
Shovel. Oh, what?
Mhm.
How do you turn the shovel into a drill? I guess
I
make
just
it
have a
weird
spinning shovel. Spinning
Right.
shovel's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. All right. So we immediately are getting most of what I asked for in that, or what you asked for in
Yep.
the Rhine, and then
Yep.
I'm seeing the Venture. I'm not seeing any Lifeweaver. We're seeing Piss Ticket though.
Yep.
And I understand the Lucio out of spawn. I do understand it.
I think the Widow defense is a bold choice, but could be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think
I
the
wanna see
only two
Venture be
people on the
Widow.
roles they've played is Satu, who's played both tank and support, so not even really.
Urgent's on Tracer.
Urgent on Tracer. That hasn't
Doesn't
changed.
feel very silly.
that part is not different.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
They're holding the side. Okay, this is the speed. Go.
The Widow's defensive. It's not offensive for early pick. And we just get the Rhine drive-by onto
Yep.
Venture. It's one of those heroes where I don't know if getting Rhine pinned is really something that should be happening to us.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of options you have there.
I like that the defense is stalwart here. I would hate to see this map go too quick.
Oh my
In
god.
front of the.
I
Oh my
thought there was
gosh.
gonna be another pin.
I think there literally was. I think the new Rhine change. By new I mean 2 years old now. Of you can cancel your charge is what got in the way of that.
Yep. Ah!
Pinpalooza.
In City. Playing bumper cars, I like it.
Yeah.
Alright, come on,
Widow
come on,
dropping
Widow.
to point. I
Come
don't
on, Widow,
really
yeah,
know
stand
why.
in front of the Rhine. Oh, this is what I wanted to see.
Yes.
The Venture diving over the. Yeah,
Yep.
there we go.
Every new day 2 Venture's dream. A Widow who tries to get away and you just
Yep.
come out of the ground. We see a
Venture
swap onto
goes
Hanzo from Widow, which makes a little sense in the second point. I think you get a lot more value out of the Ricochet on Stormbow than you do on Widow sights or angles. No other swaps to be seen. And we're looking at 2 shatters in this fight.
Venture flank, venture flank.
All eyes on the Ryan.
Give me
They're
kills.
right next to each other.
Shatter onto the Reinhardt.
Shatter! And still dies for it. The beauty of Reinhardt. Shatter first.
I mean, that it's a moral victory.
Sure, yeah.
You hit the shatter.
But they have Kitsune Rush.
But the other Ryan getting healing is cheating. It's disrespectful to craft.
Especially on Kings. I think there's laws against that in some places.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now we're gonna see dueling Coles. Or not.
That's a much bigger shatter.
Yeah. Now we're seeing Greninja coming out of these Rhine duels on top.
Wow. What a dodge. Almost saw another pin there. Very split fights happening. Greninja's able to get out. And picks up a little trophy.
Yeah, you like that one too, especially with Cole online. You're gonna see Hanzo be able to catch up an ult charge. To be able to Hanzo ult this.
Being a little sneaky. Waiting
watching that Tracer.
Pulses the Sojourn.
And slides into the Hanzo!
To the Hanzo. And they take that as their cue to pop ult. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2 DPS ults. We'll take it.
That makes sense to me.
One of them being Tracer too. Tracer's already a quarter of the next one. It's not a problem.
This is why it's very important, folks.
Still dueling Coles. No Cole has been popped.
Saving for a rain. Very special occasion.
Terrible day for rain.
Dragon.
Okay, interesting. That splits the team. How do we capitalize on that, if not Cole?
And okay, they wait to engage until the dragons are.
Well, one Cole is no longer able to be used because they're back in spawn. And we're gonna see out of that same team, Soja ult.
Oh.
Solo Shatter.
Greninja absolutely flexing. Well, that's fine. We lost.
How
2.
many people does it take to kill a Moira? 3. 4, kind of.
Wow. Alright. 1 with auto aim.
Yep. They got some pretty good cart progress, but this is, like I mentioned earlier, I don't know if this is intentional. Long walk, exactly. Letting them have this base so that they have to cross so much ground just to recontest. We're seeing a Rhine duel again. Does Gato land this shatter? I think so. Oh! No fade. But who's gonna kill the Hanzo? Looks like Venture's gonna give it a shot.
Yep. Venture hates snipers.
And this is more of what I expect from Venture. I see Rhine come in Venture's future with the ability to go contest someone like that. Oh, they're on the high ground. I'll go ahead and use my mobility to help you out, as well as
like having a Reaper in your pocket that can engage faster.
Yes. Less overall damage.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even.
Enough. I mean, it's
I don't know the numbers.
Reaper's damage per shot is. I mean, Venture can't crit, but like, how often?
Yeah. It's just the Reaper. Nobody really beats Reaper at the range where Reaper's effective. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Well, that ult doesn't exist anymore. And a shatter to try to stop it.
What is happening? And they're still getting cart.
Now see, this is a DPS line I'm very interested in.
Hell yeah.
I do think this is the future of Brawl, and I'm not sure I hate it.
May.
Although I know there's contentious opinions about May, but I like May better than Bastion.
May is objectively, I think, the best one in the game. Like my distaste for her does not mean I will run or rush. I guess. I mean.
Oh, Venture duel in the corner.
Oh.
It looks like they're not interested in each other.
Okay. Are they able to get anything with the ults? No, there's a big shield in the way.
Yeah, I don't think Venture. Oh,
take it out.
I don't know. Wow.
The shatter lands?
I've never seen that interaction yet.
I don't.
And
this is very silly watch. I'll give him that.
Yeah. And they're doing decent time. This looks like with a minute and a half left, if there's a last touch here, this is about how long a round should take. Okay, never mind. I don't think
no.
there's any contest anymore.
Oh,
I think that dream
just
is
a little
gone.
bit.
Yeah, if you mitigate it. Oh!
Oh, very far move.
Huge move. Yeah,
Well-
I think that's curtains.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was silly watch. We got to see some Venture, some Ryan duels, some Moira duels. Didn't expect to see. A little bit of pulse bomb action. A little bit of sliding into your Hanzo.
And right on time. It's 9:59.
Yeah. I think that's about as on the money as we can expect to get. We got 6.5 maps in. You know what? I'll call it 6 because Hanaoka was about half. I didn't see the other half of Hanaoka.
No, yeah. We really only saw one direction, so I mean,
Yeah. Luckily, it's symmetrical map, so we do kind of know what the other side looks
about
like.
the same.
Yeah. But maybe it's not. Maybe I just have never seen that side. But no, I definitely
It's true.
enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed the silly watch more than I thought I was going to for a Kingsrow game. Yeah, no, that was a good time. That was fun. I enjoyed everybody's play. I think everyone can go away from that and feel a little proud of at least something they did. And for impromptu teams, I think they all did pretty well. Most of them know each other, so
Yeah.
but I'm sure there'll be a lot to learn from this